Wham Bam Thank You Mammy is the fifth episode of season 6 of The Golden Girls. This is directed by Matthew Diamond, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. I don't have a tremendous amount to say. There was nothing wrong with the episode, it was quite enjoyable, but not a lot happens. It's absolutely fine, but to be fair, the previous episode gave me a lot of emotions. I had a lot to say about that, so actually, I'm not too bothered with that. There are two parts to the narrative, so I'll talk about each of them in turn. One focuses on Dorothy and one on Blanche. And Sophia is trying to set Dorothy up using a matchmaking service, and Sophia has some creative ways to try and get information out of Dorothy and to try and get her picture taken. And Dorothy ends up confiding in Rose about this, and Rose tries to give her advice without telling us an Olaf story, and she ends up telling two at the same time, but it was just that scene, or I guess that conversation with Dorothy and Rose, was my highlight of the episode. I really thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought that was very funny, not a bad part of the episode. We also had some great moments between Dorothy and Sophia in this one, so I rather liked their part of the narrative. The part with Blanche was good. It felt a little bit, I don't want to say anticlimactic, but I felt like the story wasn't finished. But I don't feel like they're going to continue it. I don't feel like they'll continue with the story. I just feel like maybe it was a little bit underdeveloped. Her mammy calls, basically her nanny, used to look after her when she was a child, and she walked out. And Blanche isn't happy about this. But she turns up at the house. She's played by Ruby Dee, and she wants to get the music box back that she gave Blanche's father once upon a time, because Blanche is looking through Big Daddy's things and sorting them out. And we learn that Mammy was actually in love with Big Daddy, and they were lovers. He wrote her letters. She has the letters as evidence, which I think was a good thing to include, because I'm not sure Blanche would have completely believed it otherwise. And when you have those letters, then it's kind of something that's going to be a little bit difficult to deny. And then Blanche still doesn't want to hear this. She doesn't want to know, but ultimately she does find the music box. And this is the bit where they were obviously going for comedy, which makes perfect sense, but it just wasn't that amusing. It was not the right music box. It's not the music box that Mammy gave to Big Daddy. And that's how we end it, with a question of, well, who gave him this music box? Did he have another lover? I feel like that's kind of the implication there. It was not a terrible way to end it. I was just left wanting more, but I wasn't desperate for more because I wasn't that bothered. I wasn't that emotionally invested, but it felt unfinished. Now, I could be surprised and they might continue it in the next episode. I don't make a point of looking ahead, but at the same time, I don't feel like they will. I don't feel like that's something that's necessary. I just feel like maybe this part of it was not as developed as it could have been. But that being said, it was a pleasant enough episode. I didn't have any frustrations, which is the exact opposite experience I had of the previous episode. And it was nice. I liked it. Not the best. I would not skip it though if I was binge watching this season. Absolutely no reason to skip it. It's fine. It's okay. Not the strongest episode I've ever seen, but there were some funny moments, some good performances. Mammy was an interesting character. All things considered, I think that Wham Bam Thank You Mammy is an okay episode of The Golden Girls.